To the 6-3 podcast. I'm your host, Joel, and my co-host, Ben, and our guest host, Blake Timmer, who joins us every single year for our very special MLB preview. Um, Very long season on its way. Spring training's probably just two-thirds of the way through, I think. Maybe three-quarters. Um, but yeah, we're gonna break this into two parts. And the first part, we're just gonna break down division winners and division losers, and then we'll run through all the awards as we have in the previous 3 years for our MLB preview. So let's get this kicked off then. Who are you guys putting as the winner of the AL East?
Baltimore.
I'm in agreement.
We're in agreement. Who do you think there's anyone that has a shot at winning it
Yeah, I
besides?
think I think it's going to be a close division. I think the top four teams technically I would say have a shot. I think that'll be within honestly, I think everybody in the top four will be within 7 or 8 games, honestly, by the end of it.
Who's your five then? Who's the one that you're running out?
The Red Sox.
I looked at the Red Sox, and I don't think the Red Sox even look that. I think their pitching is outside of like Nick Pivetta, but
Yeah, the
like
pitching is going to let them down.
the pitching is gonna. But their lineup, day-to-day lineup, they have no depth. But day-to-day lineup, there's probably six of those guys on there, and like you don't hate them.
Nope.
So that's kind of where I'm at. And who do you guys have? I have the Yankees at
Yep.
2.
Yeah.
I've got the Rays at 3, Blue Jays 4, Red Sox 5.
Yep. Exactly how I
Okay.
have it. I think
Cool.
it could be close though. I think it'll be one of the better. It'll be one of the more hotly contested divisions in baseball, in my opinion.
It always is.
Yep.
It's always more than the Central, which I know we'll get to next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. It's gonna be fun.
Well, then the AL Central, this is our very own, um, could be a little bit different than what we're used to. I think previous years we've just constantly wanted to put the White Sox up on top. I put them at 5 this year, just like that.
Yep.
And they still have some potential. Obviously, they've got some players on that roster, but
Yep.
I think the final the final knife or final stab is they traded Dylan Cease. So if they wanted to have even one really solid arm in the rotation, it feels like that was their guy. So that definitely proves that they know that this is a rebuild season, and that's probably the best way to start doing it is dealing some of the guys that are due massive contracts or aging out. And they got rid of Tim Anderson too this past year, and so I think they're gonna start this from scratch, and I think that they still have pieces. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, but I do have the Twins winning this division still.
Mhm.
But I do have our Tigers number 2.
I agree with that. I know Ben probably doesn't, but
I think it'll be close. I have the Guardians too, but it'll be close. I mean, within the
okay.
game or so. I mean, they very easily could win, could be in second place. So it wouldn't surprise me. It depends
Okay.
on the health. I mean, if the pitching stays healthy, I think they've got as good a shot. They'll be playing meaningful baseball games well into the second half. If pitching doesn't, then they'll be what they kind of were last year. So
Yeah, I think the thing is, especially with the Tigers right now that I'm looking at, is that Javi Baez cannot
yeah,
hit
no,
again, and
no,
it's almost to the point of you're like, do you at least put him on the roster to start the season?
yeah.
He's a shoo-in to make the roster, but you start him on the bench, and then if Kreidler, Eddie's Leonard make the roster, do they play more frequently, or Andy Ibanez, and then you move McKinstry to short? Does someone else step in while he tries to figure it out in the batting cages instead of screwing over the team during the season?
No, I
And
mean they're gonna
then
play him right away. They're gonna let him fail. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
See,
But I
and
think they're
then
gonna. I think they're gonna eat that money. They're gonna eat that money if they need to. I think it's gonna be a Scott Harris decision where he's gonna have to go to Chris Ilitch and say he's done. He didn't have
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
And the other concern, and I don't think this is gonna be a long-term concern because he did this last year too, but Spencer Torkelson also not hitting the spring at all,
mm-mm.
striking out a bit. But they're gonna need his right-handed power this season to also have any real measure of success. And Riley Green would be nice to get at least 80% of a season from him.
Yeah,
Um, and Kerry Carpenter can obviously hit as a DH. maybe Justin Henry Malloy also makes his debut this year as another DH possibility. And those final couple spots for the hitters are up for grabs because I don't think Akil Baddoo is making the roster anymore.
No, we're very lefty heavy. That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he hasn't hit, and
games.
he hasn't hit. So like he's kind of one of those guys that's like if you're not going to hit in the spring, you're already a roster spot borderline guy, and so maybe we just gotta move on. So that's I think Justin Henry Malloy's really only chance in because between him and Keston Hira, who's also hit very well this spring, you're like those guys are positionless players essentially. They have to be DHs because Keston's only going to play first base or he's DH. And Malloy can play corner outfield and third base, but it's not well. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with that. And then I've got the Royals 4 and the White Sox 5.
What do you think about Urshela? You think Urshela is gonna make any impact?
I think he's a good defender. I think he's going to improve the defense.
We're gonna notice a big difference definitely in the hot corner, but
I just don't. He's so up and down at the plate. I don't know how much you're going to expect.
but even if you get, I'll happily take like a 235 with 15, 16 home runs for Urshela too this year.
Maybe I don't know. I just don't think you can want.
I mean, your other options, Andy Ibanez, or you call up Jace Young early.
Yeah.
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 Unless you feel like Matt Vierling can play that spot well enough yet. But
Probably.
so yeah, we'll go to the AL West though. We'll do maybe a more in-depth Tiger White Sox preview before the season starts, maybe. But AL West, I've got the Rangers winning it. Can they go back to back this year is a big question. But I do think the Astros are going to be right there with them. Competitive as all get out, and I've got the Mariners also having a solid season, and I think the fall off is obviously the Angels and A's. In fact, the Angels and A's are probably going to be right there with the White Sox as the worst teams in the AL. So yeah, that's kind of my prediction on that. I don't know. You guys have that same 5?
We got Astros topping it.
Yeah, I have the Astros at the top.
Okay, so you guys both have Astros at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just they have to stay healthy. If they don't get injured like they did last year, I think they've got a good shot. I like the Rangers. I like the Rangers more just on a personal level than I do the Astros. The Astros are annoying, but I mean the Astros
They're like Dodger annoying. They're Dodger annoying.
It's up there. I don't enjoy watching them play. I will say that, but
they're a good team year in and year out.
Yeah. So, but I think the Mariners and the Rangers will be pretty darn close. Just right there, second or third. It could go either way.
Yeah.
I just don't think the Rangers have the pitching they had last year.
Mm-mm.
Do you guys both have the A's still last, or do you think the Angels could be last?
A's are last.
A's are last. They don't even draw. They drew more fans today probably for the Twins Tigers spring training game than they will for 90% of their games because it was sold out today. So
that's very true.
I think Esteury Ruiz is going to have 75 stolen bases this year.
I think I like some of the pieces that Oakland has, like the young guys, like Geloff, Noda, Shea Langeliers. I like him too, but like I don't. There's just nothing else there. Like they haven't done anything to make that team better other than they've drafted okay.
They still have Shintaro Fujinami. That dude can chuck the ball.
I don't know.
Alex, I don't know what he's doing right now.
I'm pretty sure Alex Wood's their opening day starter. If that tells you anything.
Wow, that's not great.
Yep. So.
Yeah, Fujinami is actually now with the Mets. All right. Well, they lost a good one. That was their hurdle. Yeah. All right. NL East, Blake. Who do you have in the NL East?
I have the Braves topping it.
Okay.
Braves, Phillies is probably going to be the favorite here.
Yep.
I've got the Marlins at the bottom. I think that's a pretty easy decision there.
Okay, so actually, I have the Nationals still at the bottom, but
okay, I've got my Nationals 4. I feel like they've got some young talent. They've shown a little bit this spring than before, but yeah, I could see that.
I like the Marlins last because Alcantara is out. He's hurt. He's out for the year. So That was
So
their
you have that same five?
Yeah, I'm going Braves, Phillies, and then it's a pretty steep fall off. Mets probably in the middle there. Now Verlander's out. Yeah, or I don't
The
know.
Marlins have Tim Anderson now, so
They do, right. So that'll
Game
definitely
changer.
game
Game
changer.
changer. Jazz Chisholm and
But
Yeah.
Tim Anderson can't get to play against the Tigers for like 30 games this year and hit 500 and
I know that's
batting
the
average.
nice thing. I'm
Yeah,
glad to see him gone. He's in the Siberia of baseball.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think the Braves are far and away the best team in that. Probably. I think
maybe in baseball.
well, yeah. I mean
Yeah.
they to me they are.
I had a
And
lot of them, and I had a lot of the Braves in my top 150. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
the latest on Acuna is still questionable kind of opening day. I know he's been a little banged up. I know he played winter ball.
Apparently, I read something the other day.
I think
I thought he was I
Up
thought
in the air for the first couple weeks, but we'll see.
oh, okay. So I heard he was still gonna make the opening day roster. They weren't even hammered
Well, no, I
on
mean he'll
IL.
be there. It's just whether or not they play him right away.
Or if he's on a 10-day IL or what.
Yeah, they're considering it. But that rotation now, I mean, Chris Sale's like their number 4 or 5 starter. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Chris Sale hasn't stayed healthy for several
Sure,
years.
but like, I mean, you
Yeah.
take half the season of starts if he's your 5th starter. I mean,
Yeah.
he's fine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Ben, who's your NL Central?
um,
Because this is competitively mid.
this is competitively crappy, and I could see literally any of these teams winning it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Brewers could. I have the Pirates actually last, but I think the Pirates are a sleeper team too. So
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals because I think they did enough in their rotation to win. I'll go Cardinals, Cubs, Reds, Pirates, Brewers.
yeah, I
think
don't
the
see any way
Reds-
the Brewers win this one. But who do you have, Blake?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I actually put the Reds at the top. I'm being aggressive with the Reds. I think they've got a lot of good young talent.
Yeah, the young talent has to like show up in their sophomore season. That's
Yes.
the big thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but they have a year under their belt.
Yeah.
It's different. I know the sophomore slump is a thing too, but I went Reds, Cubs, Brewers, Cardinals, Pirates. Yeah, Cardinals, Pirates is I don't know. I know the Cardinals have made pieces, but I just don't. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with how it's looking.
It feels weird to say it, but I have the Cubs winning this one. And then I've got the Cardinals too. But I kind of went back and forth because I think them and the Reds are going to be within a game of each other, in my opinion. So I think the top three are like going to be pretty decently above. I think they're going to all three of them are going to be slightly above 500. I think this year. That's kind of
Yeah, I
where I'm
think
at with it.
there'll be like 83 wins. We'll
Yeah.
probably win the division.
And then
So,
Milwaukee, I've got down to like 75. And then I think Pitt could also hang around this. I think Pitt ceiling to me is like 82 actually, but
like
I
the
also
worst
think they're
division race to be in too, if you're any of those teams, because they probably all feel like they could probably win it at the deadline. And that's that you end up
I
not
really
making
feel
it.
like, there's a good chunk of players on like the Pirates. Like I like Brian Reynolds, Key Brian Hayes is fine at the hot corner. I think Aniel Cruz is poised for a really nice year. Um, Henry Davis could be a catcher out of nowhere. Obviously, he was
like
highly touted.
I like him.
And then they got Grandal, Rowdy Tellez, you know, some decent guys, but the pitching again is a concern. They picked up Martin Perez, which is fine. Mitch Keller is actually a decent ace. And then I like Bednar, and they got Aroldis Chapman and Dory Moreta in the bullpen, amongst others. And I think Bednar and at least Chapman's a pretty good bullpen on the back end. So there's some dudes, but yeah, NL West here though. I've got the Dodgers winning. And then I think the Diamondbacks are also going to be a very good team this year. And then I'm going to put the Giants. I think, adding now they got Blake Snell. I think they're kind of adding a few pieces too. I think they feel like they're close to being competitive. And that the Padres don't have a bad roster. The Rockies do have a bad roster. So Rockies are for sure last for me, and that one's not
Hey,
even
they've got
close.
Chris Bryant, you know.
Chris Bryant, who Chris Bryant's already questionable with Father Time. Doesn't have a great relationship with Father Time right now.
He's been
Uh,
struggling.
I think I've got the Giants second. I don't know. I feel like they've made a lot of big moves this offseason to help their team out. I think the Diamondbacks kind of found lightning in a bottle last year. I don't know that they're going to be as good as they were last year because with how the Dodgers and Giants have made a ton of moves.
Yep. I'm gonna put the Diamondbacks second. I like them. I like Corbin Carroll. I like all those guys. I have concerns about the pitching. It needs to be more consistent, but I like their lineup a lot. I think they're a fun team to watch. Um Padres, I know they made a bunch of moves and they got Cease, so I know that makes
And
maybe there's
maybe in a fully healthy year with Tatis Jr. would be nice.
it's possible. I mean, they've got I mean, on paper, they could compete with the Dodgers in all reality, but for some reason they just don't every year. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm gonna put them third, and then I'm gonna go Giants. I do like what they've done. With the Snell move and still having Logan Webb. Um, I do like Kyle Harrison. I think he's gonna be good eventually, and they can kind of ease him into that now. But I just don't see him being too pushing. I don't see them pushing. You know, the top two teams at least, and then the Rockies they suck. So
Yeah, it doesn't look again. They have Chris Bryant though.
right. I mean, they might hit a lot of home runs at that field, but they might lose 100 games. I mean, they're not going to be good.
I'm looking at their roster here, and I'm like, there's some. I think Elias Diaz is actually pretty solid at catcher. Um, Charlie Blackmon's 100 years old. I think
Yep.
Nolan Jones gonna be pretty good. I'm pretty high on Nolan Jones overall. Um, but like, yeah, Kyle Freeland and Austin Gomber and Cal Quantrill, not not great. They don't really have anything set in the back of the bullpen either. Like, yeah, Daniel Bard's probably your setup guy, but then you have to choose between Tyler Kinley and Justin Lawrence at closer, and not great. So they're gonna have some concerns. But ALCS predictions, guys. Let's start with you, Blake. Who's your ALCS matchup?
ALCS. I have the Yankees and Astros.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Yankees are finally going to make the push this year, finally get back into the playoffs, make New York excited again. They just, that lineup is stacked, as we know. I know Cole's down now. That's going to hurt a little bit, definitely. But the Astros, they've bolstered their lineup. They got Hader. They're going to be good as well, and they get it done in the playoffs, which we find other teams that don't. So those are my predictions.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Ben, what are you thinking?
Um, Astros. I don't know, I went back and forth. I'm gonna go with Astros and Orioles.
Hmm. So maybe that's where you and I switch. I don't know who you have winning that matchup. I have Baltimore beating the Astros.
Yep, I do.
Okay.
I think Baltimore's got a chance, especially. I mean, obviously you're counting on a lot of the young guys to figure it out a little bit, and even some rookies, but I just think they're the most talented team right now in the AL, and the AL is right now. I'll be honest, but I think they're the most talented team. So
Yeah, I don't see a path where the AL wins a World Series this year, but because there's about
you get
four
there, you never
teams.
know. I
There's
mean,
about
obviously when you
four.
get there, you never know. I mean, if you
You're
you
right.
got two or three pitchers that are just shove for a whole
Just
series.
offhand though, I feel like there's four teams in the NL that I think I like
Correct.
more than the best
Correct.
teams in
I would
the
agree.
AL. So
I would agree. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll lead me to, my NL CS prediction. I'm going to take I'm gonna I feel like the Dodgers choke, so I don't know if I'm gonna have them win. But I'm gonna take the Atlanta over the Dodgers. I think it's kind of similar to what I had last year, except I probably had the Dodgers beat Atlanta. Um, because again, Dodgers are loaded on paper. So is Atlanta. But
Yep.
I just think the Dodgers just can't seem to hit it all the way there every time. So I'm gonna run with that. All right.
I'll go with Atlanta and Arizona. Atlanta over Arizona, I should say.
Yeah. Blake.
I have the Dodgers Braves.
Dodgers, Braves.
I'm taking the Dodgers over the Braves. So
Okay.
the Dodgers, they're finally gonna figure it out. Kind of like the Yankees are gonna make it this year, but I don't think they're gonna win.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Ben, your World Series matchup then, and it looks like it's gonna be the Orioles and Braves.
Yep. And Braves in 5.
Blake, what are you thinking?
I've got the Dodgers beat the Yankees in 6. Yoki's the guy to get them there, keep them there.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Atlanta over Baltimore as well. And I feel like that's clean sweep. I'm gonna say 4.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, I'm very high on the NL teams compared to some of the best AL. So I just feel like it could happen. All right, World Series MVP. I've got Atlanta winning that game. Atlanta winning that series. So I'm gonna pick Matt Olson to just tear it up.
Acuna.
And Blake, who you got for the Dodgers?
I've got Mookie Betts.
Okay, cool. And then
He'll be shortstop.
yeah, he did move to shortstop. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting experiment.
It got a lot of pieces, so it's like at some point you want to try and move around another superstar to see if you can fit more superstars in the daily lineup. But yeah, that's a very you can't miss position right there. You need someone to play good defense here, but he's super athletic, so it could happen.
Yeah.
All right, AL MVP. I'm gonna let you guys go first. Fight over it.
You want to go, Ben? I just picked last.
I don't know. I mean, I can go. Give me no. AL MVP.
Gotta pull up the odds.
I did already. It's just tough.
All right,
So then-
I'll go. I'll pick Juan Soto for the Yankees.
Picking
Oh,
Soto.
come on.
Oh, really? Is that why you have the Yankees in the World Series?
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna do great things in New York.
And pinstripes. Yeah, I do too. I think
He's been
Give me,
tearing it up all spring, and that's gonna continue.
Give me Julio Rodriguez, the Mariners.
all right, Ben. Well, everybody knows that. And Blake, I mean, everyone knows that you're secretly picking Soto, but who's your next best?
The funny thing is I was picking Julio Rodriguez for my second, so I'm gonna do an outside chance. It's a guy that doesn't stay healthy and is a huge dude and should pair well with Juan Soto, but I'm gonna take Aaron Judge because yes, I have the Yankees going a long way. So
I thought Vladdy was going to be your next guy.
no, yeah.
Kind of down on Black now.
Yeah,
He's
I think we're
down on
towards his
himself
brother.
too. I thought he was going to be way better.
His brother's coming up, so we're gonna wait for the next thing.
Yep.
All right, Blake, we'll let you go first for NL MVP. Don't want to steal your thunder.
All right, NL MVP. I have Mookie Betts.
Right.
Obviously, my picks
with his 33 errors at shortstop.
probably moved back into the outfield by midseason.
Use that arm. What a waste of arm talent for sure.
But you still need a good arm at short. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Acuna goes back to back at NL MVP.
I'd say the same thing. That was going to be my pick, but if I got to pick somebody else, give me Corbin Carroll.
Hey, good pick. That was your rookie of the year pick last year too, and you
It
nailed it.
was, and I nailed it. So
I mean, if you guys would have stolen that, I had Fernando Tatis Jr. as my breakout.
Tatis was
So
up there. I just don't. I mean, we'll probably get busted for something stupid or ride a motorcycle into a wall or something. So
he
yeah,
can ride a motorcycle. He can do a lot of good things.
yeah.
I'll let you go first here for AL Cy Young here then, Ben.
Um, Give me Corbin Burns.
Burns was one of my options there. All right, Blake.
I'm high on Scuba right now.
I was gonna take Scooble. You stole my thunder.
Guys throwing 98, 99. Looks as fluid as
He's
ever.
dominating right now. He's dominating.
I don't think anybody can touch him right now. We'll see. I think he's gonna put together a great season.
Yeah, it's a solid pick. All right, I gotta go with my third guy then because Burns is my number two. Um, I'm gonna take Pablo Lopez.
Good pick. That was my second.
Pretty nasty.
Good. I'm glad I don't feel like I'm reaching on that one when I'm going
No,
with
I
third
mean,
guy.
I think the radar.
All right, I'm gonna go first here for NL Cy Young. Um, and give me Spencer Strider.
Dang it. Dang it. Give me Logan Webb.
He was my third guy. Okay.
I'm putting out Zach Wheeler.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
I was gonna put a flyer out there on Yoshinaga Yamamoto, but
Kind of had nothing
uh
to do in spring, so I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um
He's got an
well,
interesting training regimen. Did you see that?
Yes, it was weird. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on.
does he eat dogs?
No, he throws like a javelin instead of
A
like throwing a
javelin.
baseball. That's what it
Yeah,
looks like.
At least throw a
weird.
samurai sword. Golly.
Hey, that's
Look at
cultural
you throwing out these stereotypes.
appropriation here.
I
Yeah,
know. I should stop before we get canceled. All right, Ben, AL Rookie of the Year.
Jackson Holiday.
All right, good for you. Good for you. Um, all right, I'm gonna take Colt Keith.
Like that.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take the guy that already has playoff experience, just won a World Series. We're gonna go with Evan Carter.
Evan Carter was on my option list.
Like
And
Wyatt
Nobody
Lang.
then
took, nobody
Wyatt
took
I
Lang.
his
would have
teammate.
been I would have been severely mad if Wyatt Langford it wins because that was the Tigers pick. I literally had him mocked to the Tigers and they skipped him for Max, who's never coming up.
Clark. You don't think
Yeah,
so?
Max. And maybe in like 3 years. It's too long though. When Wyatt Langford is here now, ready to break out already.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
I
I
don't know.
don't disagree.
Long-term play though. Long-term play. I didn't. Okay. I don't disagree with you. I think Wyatt Langford was a better pick no matter what. But I just don't like high schoolers that early anyway. That's my personal opinion. So
I don't know. Yeah, pitchers for sure. It's even longer, but maybe
yeah,
Job's going to start panning out. Maybe we might see Job by the end of the year for the Tigers. I don't know.
awesome.
Well, you saw Joe throw in spring training.
He looked, yeah, was he hitting 102?
Yeah. So I'd say he was a little amped up.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see who's up. Blake, you can do NL Rookie of the Year here.
All right. I have Mason Wynn for the Cardinals.
That's a good pick. All right. Ben, you can go ahead. I don't have that.
Give me Jackson Merrill.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna go with Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yep.
Okay. High on the Cubbies.
Yep. AL Manager of the Year, I'm gonna take AJ Hinch.
Okay.
They come in second place. Do you think they'd win it though? He'd win it though. I don't think he'd win it.
Yeah.
If they win the division, I would probably give it to him.
I mean, I guess if they're wild card, what if they won the
If
wild
they
card?
make the playoffs, he's got an argument. If they don't, then no.
Okay, that's
Not
fair.
because
Yeah.
not because it's a bad, not even because he's bad or anything. It's just I just don't think he'd have an argument.
Well, then give it to the Royals' new manager.
No. No. Um, Brandon Hyde for me.
All right. I'm going with Bruce Bochy.
Boch. I like Bochy.
All right. Blake, manager, NL manager.
Great counsel.
Yep, that's the odds-on favorite.
Hot take.
I'm gonna take David Bell, Cincinnati.
Just give me Snicker.
Yeah, I feel like you've taken Snicker the last several years.
Hey.
No, he's good. He's fine. He does just a great job. But
Yeah.
all right, these ones are a
95
little
games. I mean, how are you gonna argue with that?
they're a little tougher to pick because it's like hard to decipher the difference between comeback and breakout. So I don't know if you guys want to establish the definition there here.
Comeback would
But
mean you were either
injured.
or suspended
Yeah.
or
Just had a bad
just
season.
had an
Or
horrendous.
you had like, or you were really good, really bad, and then really good again.
Yep.
Yeah, like Cody Bellinger last year.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. And then breakout's a guy that's probably like either a sophomore breakout player or a guy
Correct.
that has been
So
like
maybe
a
he
40.
struggled. Maybe it's a guy that really struggled his rookie year, right? And then figured it out and had a great season, right? There's plenty of those guys.
Okay. Well then, I guess yeah, who wants to go first for the AL comeback?
I will go first if you would like. I'm going with Carlos Correa. Did not have a
He was the
great
guy I looked
season
at.
last year. I think he hit sub 225 on a ton of home runs. Just he's got to do something better, especially for the Twins to win the division, as most people have him. So
Okay. Give me give me Carlos Rodon.
Yeah.
He had a no hitter into the 6th inning the other day. So
He was pitching in the 6th inning still?
he had no pitches. He just wasn't giving up any hits. Then Joe Torre came out of the dugout and took him out.
See, I would say this guy, I was looking at him and I don't think Jose Abreu qualifies. So I gotta keep looking here.
I mean, he might.
yeah, I think he does. I think I
He
saw
was
him on a
pretty.
couple.
He was pretty. I mean, he was
predictions.
good late last year. He was good.
He played 141 games last year though.
Yeah, but he was pretty meh.
Yeah, that's all. It's Carlos Correa. I would think he played 141.
I mean, he could be meant because he's 36 or 37 years old.
Probably like 56. They
He's
don't
probably
have,
56.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw
they
a
don't have
little bit of
actual birth
gray in that
certificates
little
when they come
braided.
over. Are you kidding me? Who knows how
Yeah.
old?
Well, if you guys think he counts, then I can run that.
I mean,
Okay.
I would even say like a guy like Vlad counted. You know,
Yeah. Because who were last year's winners? Cody Bellinger and Liam Hendricks, right?
yeah.
I think I took Bellinger. I think I got that one.
And Hendricks was almost like the DeMar Hamlin shoe in.
Yeah, I mean,
Not that bad. He didn't die. But
he didn't
could've.
die of cancer,
He
but
was close.
would Vlad Jr. count as a comeback?
I mean, yes, he would. He had 23 homers last year. He didn't have a bad season, is the thing. He had 26 homers, I'm sorry. And almost
Like
100.
3 seasons ago, he had a really great season. So it's like, all right, well, shoot. I guess who do you guys think is a more reasonable one?
Abreu was more feasible than Vlad Jr.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll go with that. All right, then NL comeback. I've got Teoscar Hernandez.
Chris Bryant.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
well, I had a backup. We were just bashing on Brian, so I thought nobody would take that. I'm gonna go with Severino.
I was gonna say you could also go with Frankie Montas, how we talked about Mr. 1 and 3.
He pitches
But
2 games and it was better then.
It's automatically a winner.
Yep.
You're going to go with Luis Severino?
Luis Severino, yeah.
Right, that's a good one.
Moving to the better side of New York will help him out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blake, will you go first then for the AL breakout then?
All right, AL breakout. You're gonna love this one. Torkelson. I think he qualifies. I don't know.
So I didn't put Torkelson on my list. He does qualify, but I had Riley Green. But
Okay.
I thought he was a third choice though. I had two guys ahead of him, and I think I'm gonna go with Royce Lewis.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. Hmm. Give me. I gotta pick one White Sox guy. Give me Garrett Crochet.
Like that.
Yeah.
He's the opening day starter.
I know I saw that. I saw that. I was like, wait, did they trade Cease? I guess I missed the Cease trade, and then I had to
Yep.
look it up when I was going through all these.
They actually got a pretty decent haul for him, but
That's good.
Crochet
Yeah,
is very hard, so this will be fun.
They've been rebuilding for how many years now?
What's that?
Just kidding.
No, what'd you
how many
say?
years been rebuilding for?
One.
One.
It's one.
One.
We've got like 10. I think we're at 10.
Well, here's the problem though. We'll say we're not rebuilding when in all reality we are. That's the difference, right? At least you guys went all in. At least
Gotta
you can
keep it
accept
hush.
that.
Yeah, you got to keep it hush. NL breakout here. It's interesting. My other AL breakout option I had was actually Ricky Tiedemann. I thought maybe he was poised to. But an NL breakout that I'm looking at is Bobby Miller.
I love Bobby Miller. That's awesome. Yeah.
Taking Francisco Alvarez.
Breakout. Give me Jared
Tatis.
Kelenic.
What?
Give me Jared Kelenic.
Ooh, Kelenic.
Yeah.
Yeah, my backup to Bobby Miller, if someone took him, was actually Tatis Jr. So,
I guess that could count.
but
Yeah.
is he comeback? He'd probably go more closer to comeback.
I don't count it if you suspended yourself.
That's fair. It's fair.
It's your fault. You have cancer, less of your fault.
Yeah. Well, last one here. This is the Hank Aaron. Ben, do you have a Hank Aaron guy?
I mean, what's the determination on that again?
I think it's based on power and RBIs usually get you the
Just
Hank Aaron.
homers and RBIs. So
I mean, you got to hit for some average. You can't be a scrub. You can't be hitting like 240.
I don't know. Who's gonna Judge?
Okay. I think Judge is going to hit 240 though. So I don't know.
No, it would be fine. They'll still 62 homers. I mean, come on. Doesn't matter.
All right, Blake, who do you got?
Yeah, Yandy Diaz.
I like
Andy
that.
Diaz. Wow. Okay.
Bring it on down there.
All right. I feel like Julio Rodriguez.
Yep.
All right, cool. And that concludes our division winners and award predictions. We're going to be right back tonight after this finishes uploading and do the top 30 MLB players and then our stat predictions for the 6 players next year.
Sweet.
It'll give me time to work on those 6 players now.
Awesome.
All right, we'll be back.